Tonight we start off by taking a look at Zeta Tau Alpha's Big Man on Campus event and Auburn Parks and Recreation's Bark in the Park. Then we'll inform you about the UPC Karaoke Night and Auburn's celebration of Women's History Month.
We'll also take a look nationally by updating you on Donald Trump's ongoing court cases and the United States' plan to provide aid to the humanitarian crisis in Gaza. Finally, you'll get an Auburn sports update and an entertainment update brought to you by Eagle Eye's Morgan Sims.
All of that and more is coming up next on Eagle Eye's Monday News at 6. Good evening and welcome to Eagle Eye News at 6. I'm Joe Champagne.
And I'm Allison Foran. Zeta Tau Alpha at Auburn University hosted the 28th annual Big Man on Campus last week. Big Man on Campus is an all-male beauty pageant where local celebrities judge contestants on personality, originality, and Auburn spirit. The competition also hosts a massive fundraiser to benefit breast cancer education, awareness, and research. Eagle Eye TV's Mackenzie Deutschman attended the event and tells us more.
I am here outside the Auburn University Student Activity Center, where sorority Zeta Tau Alpha is hosting their annual philanthropic event, Big Man on Campus. Here's more. Last Thursday, March 13th, Zeta Tau Alpha's Big Man on Campus was a success. All of the guys put on a great performance and the audience was packed. However, Big Man on Campus is much more than an entertaining show.
Big Man on Campus is an all-male beauty pageant where the contestants compete in different rounds such as formal wear and talent. They've been practicing for a couple months and we're super excited. All the proceeds go to the Zeta Foundation benefiting breast cancer education and awareness, and we're just super excited tonight and we're excited to see who gets the new crown.
My grandmother was diagnosed with breast cancer when I was in 8th grade. She went through multiple rounds.
Zeta has a saying of 10K in a day, referring to their goal of raising $10,000 in just 24 hours. This year, Big Man on Campus raised a total of $28,624 for the Zeta Foundation, benefiting breast cancer education and awareness. I asked a few people in the audience what their favorite part about Big Man on Campus was. What's your favorite part about coming to Big Man on Campus?
I love coming to Big Man on Campus because not only does it go to a great cause, I love supporting other great communities.
And last but not least, congratulations to this year's Big Man on Campus, Coleman Morris.
The first runner-up for Big Man on Campus is Zach Melvin. Which means congratulations, Cohen Morris, you are the winner of Big Man on Campus 2024.
For Eagle Eye TV, I am Mackenzie Deutschman reporting.
Thank you, Mackenzie. Auburn Parks and Recreation, along with Care Humane Society, hosted Bark in the Park. The event, hosted at Kiesel Park, celebrated responsible dog ownership. This community event offered several educational resources for dog owners and their four-legged friends. Eagle Eye's Morgan Sims reports.
Today I'm here at Kiesel Park for the annual Bark in the Park event, an event that celebrates responsible dog ownership. Auburn Parks and Recreation and the Lee County Humane Society hosted Bark in the Park, an event that celebrates all responsible dog owners and their favorite four-legged friends. Administrative Assistant of Care Humane Society, Patty Toll, makes an appearance to showcase the dogs that are up for adoption.
This is my 5th year, I believe, coming here. Care Humane Society always comes out here. It's a great event to showcase our dogs that are available for adoption at our shelter.
The Homes for Dogs project also made an appearance. The Dog of the Month, Monroe, made his debut and he was over the moon.
Have been sponsoring pets. We've teamed up with the Humane Society, so that's why we're here today. And our pet of the month is Monroe.
This event is not just for the cute dogs, but for the community. As a plethora of vendors, small businesses, and food trucks serve the community with a live band for entertainment. The kids also had a lot of fun with face paint, balloon animals, and bouncy houses. Ioli, Vivian, and Scarlett came with their dog with the name of
Helga Hufflepuff McClure.
Students in the vet school at Tuskegee University also attended.
We're in the vet school, so I'm just trying to get exposure and you meet all these new places and people, and then just also experiencing all the dogs.
Dogs from many different backgrounds came together and really showed the importance of unity. This event proved that dogs really are a man's best friend.
For Eagle Eye TV, I'm Morgan Sims, and this is Denver.
Thank you, Morgan. When we come back, we will provide more on-campus news, followed by a national news update. You're watching Eagle Eye News at 6.
The University Program Council hosted its first ever War Eagle Karaoke Night. Students were invited to participate with a karaoke DJ, enjoy mocktails, and enjoy the performances of their peers. Eagle Eye's Brett Fouts attended this new Auburn tradition and tells us more.
I'm here outside Ballroom B where the UPC is hosting their first karaoke night. So let's take a look inside of what's going on. The University Program Council hosted their first karaoke night on Tuesday night inside the Melton Student Center. The event was available for all students to attend and was an opportunity for students to socialize, eat food, and sing some karaoke. We spoke with some of the organizers and students to get more insight.
Yeah, so tonight is our War Eagle Karaoke Night. So it's sort of a new event that we're trying out. The campus nutrition team came up with it, and it's just a really exciting thing. It's a little bit more of a niche style event. So people are able to get up on stage and sing karaoke songs and enjoy themselves. And we've got pizza, and we've got boas and glasses and all that cool stuff. So just kind of a way for people to get up on stage, let loose, enjoy themselves, and just kind of feel right at home here at Auburn. So yeah, it's really exciting.
So we started planning this actually back last semester, and we've been planning it throughout the semester along with our committee and my assistant directors. And so kind of going into it was figuring out, what food we wanted, what decorations and stuff. We started with a general idea of karaoke and then kind of built it around there with themed karaoke cookies, as well as we had pizza and then a bunch of decor and things like that. So it's just kind of getting input from my assistant directors and our committee to plan this event.
So I work in the Office of Student Involvement as a grad assistant, and so I actually saw on Instagram though that UPC was having a karaoke night tonight, and I love karaoke, so I just knew that I had to come out here and do some stuff on stage.
For Eagle Eye TV, this is Brett Fouts.
Thank you, Brett. Last Thursday, Auburn's own Dr. Melissa Blair hosted an academic forum in Ralph Brown Drawn Library to celebrate Women's History Month and share her new book, Bringing Home the White House. Blair described her research process for the book, including visiting multiple presidential libraries to uncover the history of the role of women in campaigns and political education in the 20th century. As a historian, Blair focuses her studies on U.S. women's and political history. She is also an associate professor here on Auburn's campus. When we come back, we'll update you nationally on updates in Donald Trump's criminal court cases and involuntary manslaughter charges to a Michigan father. You're watching Eagle Eye TV, Auburn's news leader.
Gaza could soon see a humanitarian disaster far worse than its current suffering. The Israeli Prime Minister is defending and reiterating his plan to invade Rafah. More than 1 million civilians are trapped there and starving. Amy Kiley has the latest on U.S. efforts to help them before it's too late.
The U.S. is voicing concerns over civilian safety in Gaza, with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu doubling down yesterday on his vow to invade Rafah.
The majority of Israelis support the policies that we're leading. Go into Rafah, destroy the remaining Hamas terrorist battalions.
He promises to evacuate the more than 1 million civilians there, but U.S. officials are skeptical.
The evacuation, they call it humanitarian islands, and we welcome any credible plan to take care of them, but we haven't seen it yet.
Getting innocent people out could be even harder than getting aid in. That's so difficult, the U.S. and other countries are building a floating dock to access Rafah by water.
It's going to probably take about 6 to 8 weeks or so for all the pieces to get in place and for it to become operational.
President Joe Biden is reiterating his call for a ceasefire and a two-state solution.
This is the only path for lasting peace and security.
Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer calls Netanyahu an obstacle to such peace. He says Israel should hold a new election when the war winds down, drawing this response yesterday.
It's inappropriate for to go to a sister democracy and try to replace the elected leadership there.
The fact that Israel's most staunch defender in the U.S. Congress, Chuck Schumer, should be making these remarks should be an earthquake in Israel.
I'm Amy Kiley reporting.
Amy Kiley with CNN, thank you. Donald Trump is the first former president in U.S. history to face criminal charges and with his third presidential bid underway. The stakes are high for both him and the country. CNN is tracking several new developments in his 4 criminal cases. And their Washington correspondent Julia Benbrook breaks it all down.
In Georgia, an Atlanta-based grand jury indicted Donald Trump and others on state charges for allegedly trying to overturn the former president's electoral loss in 2020. This week, the judge issued a partial dismissal and dropped 6 of the 41 counts, including 3 against Trump, citing the lack of required detail. But most of the indictment is still intact. A Friday ruling by that same judge will allow Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis to stay on the case, despite accusations she had a conflict of interest because of her relationship with the special prosecutor.
It is a gift to the defense, I believe, as they will use this as they talk about whether or not the case has merit or whether or not it was brought for other reasons.
In Florida, a federal case focuses on Trump's handling of classified documents. The former president's lawyers tried to persuade a judge to throw out the case because of the supposed vagueness of the law he was charged under. On Thursday, the judge rejected that claim.
Although it's not impossible for a federal judge to basically invalidate a statute on the theory that it is too vague to be enforced, that happens very, very rarely.
In New York, Trump faces state charges related to a hush money payment to an adult film star. Jury selection for that trial was scheduled to start on March 25th, but could be delayed.
I'll be here during the day and I'll be campaigning during the night.
And then in Washington, D.C., there's a federal election interference case related to Trump's actions on January 6, 2021. The former president has pleaded not guilty in every one of these cases. Reporting in Washington, I'm Julia Benbrook.
A Michigan jury's decision made history last Thursday, finding James Crumbley, the father of a teenage school shooter, guilty of involuntary manslaughter. The verdict delivered Thursday evening means a father, son, and the shooter's mother have now all been convicted of crimes related to the shooting. It could serve as an example in future mass shooting legal action. CNN's Emily Schmidt has more on the verdict and James Crumbley's reaction.
Guilty of involuntary manslaughter.
James Crumbley chose not to testify in his manslaughter trial. Thursday night, he heard what the jury had to say. Guilty of involuntary manslaughter 4 times over.
Guilty of involuntary manslaughter.
The jurors, 6 men and 6 women, deliberated about 10 hours in the manslaughter trial for the father of Ethan Crumbley, the Michigan teen who shot and killed 4 students at Oxford High School in 2021. James Crumbley shook his head as the verdict was read. His lawyers had argued he had no idea what his son was planning.
You heard no testimony and saw no evidence that James Crumbley knew what his son was planning.
Yet prosecutors had argued the father was, quote, grossly negligent after buying a 9mm gun just days before his son used that gun in the shooting.
James Crumbley was presented with the easiest, most glaring opportunities to prevent the deaths of these 4 students. And he did nothing.
Crumbley's wife, Jennifer, was found guilty of the same charges last month. It's the first time a school shooter's parents have been convicted in relation to their child's crimes. Both Jennifer and James will face sentencing together in April. Each count carries a 15-year maximum prison sentence to be served concurrently. Family members of the 4 victims cried and embraced after learning of the verdict. 3 painful trials completed, 3 members of a family convicted to pay a price for such great loss. I'm Emily Schmidt reporting.
When we return, Eagle Eye's Cohen Dalzell will give you an Auburn sports update, followed by an entertainment update with Morgan Sims. Stay tuned for more.
Welcome back to Eagle Eye News at 6. I'm Cohen Dalzell here with another massive week in Auburn sports to recap. So let's get right on to it. Auburn men's basketball kicked off postseason play in Nashville for the SEC tournament. Eagle Eye's Zach Card was in Nashville for the tournament.
Auburn men's basketball hadn't won an SEC tournament game since 2019, the same year that they won it all. 5 years later, the Tigers win all 3 games they play and cut down the nets once again.
This is different. I keep telling people Auburn's really a special place, and we're an everything school. And, we put the call out, and we were playing for a championship, and you don't play for championships very often. And it's a Sunday, and most of the people in Alabama are in church on Sunday morning. But thank goodness, because they got their phones, you can now watch church online. So all the Auburn family got in their cars. They drove up north from North Alabama, Central Alabama, South Alabama.
Auburn fans showed up and showed out in Bridgestone Arena. Players and supporters alike heard that it wouldn't be the jungle leading up to this tournament, but it sure felt like it. The Tigers took care of South Carolina and Mississippi State before meeting Florida in the finals, where the crowd was electric. Janai Broome was named tournament MVP, and Chad Baker-Mazzara joined him on the all-tournament team. The Tigers hope to compound 6 more wins in the NCAA tournament to be showered in confetti once again. Reporting from Bridgestone Arena in Nashville, Tennessee, I'm Zach Card, Eagle Eye TV.
These performances capped off an amazing season for the Tigers with another trophy for Coach Bruce Pearl's collection. Auburn's depth and determination were on display in all 3 of their SEC tournament matchups. Janai Broome led the Tigers against the Gamecocks with 18 points, but 10 other Tigers got on the score sheet as well. The game against Mississippi State was a chippy one for both sides, with 5 technical fouls being given out. Auburn was determined to not let their opportunity to go to the SEC tournament finals go to waste and kicked their offense into next gear in the second half. Chad Baker-Mazzara had 14 and 4 other Tigers scored in the double digits to outlast the Bulldogs. The tournament final came against a Florida team that gave Auburn fits during their regular season matchup in Gainesville. Led by Janai Broome with 19 points and a lockdown defense against a Florida team that averages 85 points per game, Auburn outpaced the Gators and ran away with the trophy in the second half. After Auburn men's hoops cut down the nets in Nashville, they sat down and waited for their draw for the NCAA tournament, along with the women's basketball team back in Auburn. Both teams earned a spot in their respective tournament via the Tournament Selection Committee, with men's hoops earning a 4 seed and women's hoops getting an 11. The Auburn men land in the East region, along with the overall number 1 seed, the UConn Huskies. Auburn will travel to Spokane, Washington to play 13 seed Yale this Friday at 3:15 p.m. in the round of 64. The Auburn women land in the Portland 3 region, but will have to win their play-in game against Arizona in order to make it to the round of 64. They will play Arizona at 6 p.m. on Thursday in Storrs, Connecticut. If they advance, they will play 6-seed Syracuse at 2:30 p.m. on Saturday. On to the diamond now. Auburn baseball traveled to Nashville as well to start the SEC baseball season against number 8 Vanderbilt. Unfortunately for the 18th ranked Tigers, it was 1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out, as the Commodores swept them during the 3-game weekend series. Auburn was blown out 11-1 on Friday before losing by 8 the following day, 13-5. Auburn got out to a quick lead in the series finale before Vandy cut the lead to 1 with runs in the 4th and 5th inning. The Commodores struck again with a couple doubles that plated 4 runs. Auburn couldn't rally back after that, and Vanderbilt completed the sweep 9-6. Auburn falls to 13-6 and 0-3 in SEC play after the series. The Tigers play a single game in Mobile tomorrow at 6 p.m. against South Alabama before coming back home for a huge weekend series starting this Thursday against number 1 Arkansas. This will be held at Plainsman Park. That's all I've got for sports tonight. Tune in tomorrow at 7 p.m. for Sports Night in Auburn, right here on Eagle Eye TV. I'm Cohen Dalzell for Eagle Eye Sports, and you are watching Eagle Eye News at 6. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to Eagle Eye News at 6. I'm Morgan Sims here with your entertainment update. Here at Auburn University, we have 2 incredible organizations that feed and combat hunger to those in our community: Beat Bama Food Drive and the Campus Kitchen. With a similar outreach, strangers turned into fast friends in Fairfax County, Virginia. They met during the pandemic and worked together to help fight hunger in their community. As Jay Korf reports, 4 years later, their friendship and charity work is still going strong.
Good morning, ma'am. What would you like?
What looks like an outdoor grocery store along Route 1 in Alexandria is actually a remarkable story of friendship and empathy spanning 4 years, involving Ed Moore and Deacon James Myers.
4 years ago, I saw what they were doing. I showed up, asked them if they needed help, and we've been best friends and brothers ever since.
Ed is my angel. Back during the pandemic, Ed got volunteers to catch fish, which Deacon Myers cooked outside his church, Greater Morning Star Apostolic in Alexandria.
In the last 4 years, I think we fed over 50,000 people.
Now, donations pour in from grocery stores, churches, and nonprofits like United Community to provide nutrient-dense fare for a community still very much in need.
When I say fresh, look at it. Zoom in and take a look at it.
On Fridays, fresh produce rolls in, which means hundreds line up around the church.
People are hurting, plain and simple. They're hurting.
Tommy tells us with inflation and rent soaring, this place of solace provides a sense of comfort and hope to so many.
I think it's fantastic. As you can see, there's a lot of people here that need help.
Deacon Myers and Ed Moore know full well that the pandemic highlighted the long existing plight of food insecurity in this nation.
And this is what America's supposed to be. Everybody helping each other.
Which means these fast friends will not stop anytime soon giving back.
Pandemic's over, but it's in my heart. I love feeding people, giving back, and I just love what I do. And people are still in need, and I think that I can just keep giving back as long as I'm here.
What a beautiful display of friendship they have. Moving right along, happy belated St. Patrick's Day. Downtown Auburn was painted green with celebrations taking place all weekend. Although we hope you had a lot of fun this weekend, I bet you were not harassed by a turkey on the side of the road. Confused? Well, you have to take a look at today's Take a Look at This.
Why'd the chicken cross the road?
I had a They're laughing at me. Tell them the story.
Traffic stop was clearly convinced otherwise. Police deal with foul play all the time, but this St. Johns County officer must not have run afoul of a wild turkey before, because the pesky poultry clearly had him perplexed as he tried to do his job. First, quacking at the thing like a duck. Quack, quack. Oh, man. Yeah, it clearly did not like that. Then he egged it on by repeatedly mistaking it for a chicken.
Somebody better come get that chicken. Quack. Except for I'm getting attacked by a chicken right now.
I don't know what it is with cops and birds these days. Just last week, another pair of tenacious turkeys forced another pair of traffic cops in Ohio to fly the coop. But in his defense, this deputy stood his ground and finished the stop, not letting some encroaching, clucking, turducking or whatever keep him from doing his duty. Now, from a bird that's mean to a river gone green. Hope everybody had a St. Patrick's Day celebration to remember. Thousands turned out in Chicago, Illinois to take in a nearly 70-year-old annual tradition where local officials took to the Chicago River with a great deal of dye in tow, turning the Windy City waterway emerald green to enhance the St. Patty's Day scene. The yearly celebration is orchestrated by the Chicago Plumbers Union, which says, amazingly enough, the dye mixture actually starts out orange. Once it hits the water, it fades to the shade of jade that made the day famous. Must be the luck of the Irish. For Take a Look at This, I'm Jeremy Rod.
Wow, my St. Patty's weekend was definitely not as interesting as the story that cop gets to tell. I'm Morgan Sims, and this is your entertainment update. Now back to Allison and Joe.
Thank you, Morgan. Well, we're out of time, but for more Auburn news, head over to our website, eagleeyeauburn.com, and check out our social media pages. I'm Joe Champagne.
And I'm Allison Foran. Thank you for watching, and War Eagle.